Let me ask you something. Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, I'm doing everything right, so why am I not seeing the results? Or maybe you felt stuck, trapped in the endless cycle of diets, workouts, and frustration. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. But here's the good news. The secret to fast fat loss isn't hidden away in some magic pill, mystery workout, or expensive program. When we talk about fast fat loss, we often think the answer must be complicated. Some super intense program, some ancient herbal secret, or some breakthrough technology we haven't heard about yet. But the real truth, the truth that's backed by hard neuroscience and human biology, is this. The fundamentals still win. They're boring to hear about because they're so simple, but if you understand and apply them correctly, they are nothing short of transformative. Nutrition, sleep, and movement. These are the pillars. They don't just support fat loss, they accelerate it. And they do it in a way that's sustainable and powerful. They operate at the foundation of how your cells, your brain, and your metabolism interact with the world around you. Let's start with nutrition. When we think about food, most people immediately leap into calories. Now, calories do matter. They're a key variable in the energy balance equation, but what matters more initially is what you're eating and how your body processes it. High protein, nutrient-dense foods don't just keep you full, they send strong satiety signals to your brain, stabilizing blood sugar and energy levels throughout the day. Protein is also highly thermogenic, which means your body burns more calories just digesting it compared to fats or carbs. By prioritizing protein and pairing it with fibrous vegetables, healthy fats, and strategically timed carbohydrates, you're not just reducing your calorie intake naturally, you're sending a message to your body: maintain muscle, burn fat. Here's a key insight that a lot of people miss. It's not just about reducing calories. It's about preserving lean mass while you do it. Why? Because your muscle is your metabolic currency. It's not just something that makes you look good or perform better. It's tissue that's constantly burning calories even at rest. Lose muscle and you slow down your fat burning engine. Protect muscle and fat loss becomes exponentially faster and easier. The way you eat has an even deeper impact. It talks to your hormones. Certain foods trigger insulin spikes. Some increase ghrelin, the hunger hormone. Others support leptin sensitivity, your satiety hormone. Small changes. Eating protein with every meal, balancing your carb intake according to activity, avoiding refined sugars and processed oils don't just control calories, they optimize your hormonal environment for fat burning. Now let's move to sleep, the underrated superpower of fat loss. Sleep isn't just downtime. It's a dynamic, active period where your body regulates critical systems tied directly to fat metabolism. When you sleep well, meaning deep, restorative sleep, your cortisol levels regulate, your insulin sensitivity improves, your growth hormone spikes. All of these shifts create an internal environment that favors fat burning and muscle preservation. Need sleep, even just a few hours, and the entire system tilts against you. Your cortisol shoots up, driving fat storage around the midsection. Your ghrelin levels increase, making you crave sugary, high-calorie foods. Your leptin sensitivity drops so you don't feel full even when you've eaten enough. Sleep loss literally rewires your brain to seek out more food and move less. That's not weakness or lack of willpower. That's biology working against you. And it's not just quantity, it's quality. You need full sleep cycles, deep sleep for physical repair, REM sleep for emotional processing and cognitive resetting. You can optimize this naturally by controlling light exposure during the day and minimizing artificial light at night, by keeping a consistent wake up and sleep time, by managing caffeine and alcohol use, and by setting up a cool, dark, quiet environment for sleeping. Then there's movement. And here I want to be very clear. It's not about doing the most intense workout every day. Movement isn't just about exercise. It's about what your body does across the entire 24-hour cycle. Sure, structured exercise is important. Strength training 2 to 4 times a week to build and maintain muscle. Some high-intensity intervals to condition the heart and lungs. Maybe some longer, lower-intensity work to build endurance. But more important, especially early on in fat loss, is non-exercise activity thermogenesis, NEAT. NEAT is everything you do that's not deliberate exercise. Walking, standing, fidgeting, moving around the house. And it's responsible for a massive portion of the calories you burn every day. In fact, for most people, it dwarfs the calories burned in a 45-minute gym session. Increasing your daily steps from 3,000 to 10 Sayer can have a bigger impact on fat loss than an extra hour on the treadmill. It sounds almost too simple, but this is the secret that fitness models, athletes, and lean individuals know. They move constantly. They don't just train hard, they live actively. And here's another layer. Movement changes your brain chemistry. It raises dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins, all of which support motivation, mood, and adherence to your fat loss plan. So movement isn't just burning calories. It's reinforcing the emotional and mental states that make sticking to your goals easier. And it's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent. Small, sustainable actions performed daily outpace heroic efforts performed occasionally. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. You just have to start anchoring your choices around these fundamentals, one decision at a time, one day at a time. The beauty is, once these fundamentals are in place, fat loss doesn't just happen faster. It happens almost effortlessly. You stop thinking about dieting and start thinking about living. Living in a body that's energized, capable, strong. Living with a mind that's sharp and focused. Living with habits that don't exhaust you, but empower you. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this today, it's this. The fundamentals aren't the backup plan. They are the fast track. Master the basics and you master everything that comes after it. Now, once you've built the foundation with proper nutrition, consistent movement, and quality sleep, there's another layer that needs your attention if you want to unlock fast, sustainable fat loss. And that's understanding how to work with your body's internal chemistry. Your hormones and daily habits are not separate from fat loss. They are the operating system that governs it. If you're fighting your own biology, it's like trying to run a race with your shoelaces tied together. But if you align your daily actions to support optimal hormone function, everything shifts. Appetite control, energy regulation, mood, even fat mobilization, all start moving in your favor. What we often miss when we focus purely on diet and exercise is the incredible influence that tiny, almost invisible habits have on our hormonal environment. These habits are simple, but their cumulative effects are profound. Take, for example, light exposure. It sounds trivial, but the timing and intensity of light you experience every day set the rhythm of your circadian clock, which in turn regulates critical hormones like cortisol, melatonin, and even insulin. Getting sunlight in your eyes first thing in the morning, not through a window, not through sunglasses, but actual natural light exposure, anchors your internal clock. This sets the timing for cortisol release, helping you feel alert when you need to be and preparing you for deep sleep later at night. That single habit can dramatically improve energy regulation, appetite control, and metabolic function. On the flip side, when you expose yourself to bright artificial light late at night, particularly blue light from screens, you disrupt melatonin production. That not only makes it harder to fall asleep, it also blunts the natural fasting period your body should experience overnight. Instead of entering deep repair and fat burning states, your body remains in a light, metabolically active state, increasing the likelihood of nighttime hunger, late night snacking, and fat storage. Simply managing your light environment, bright natural light in the morning, dim warm light in the evening, can shift your fat loss trajectory without changing a single thing about your diet or training. Another hormonal system that needs attention is your stress response. Stress isn't inherently bad. Short-term spikes in cortisol during exercise or challenging situations can be beneficial. They sharpen focus, mobilize energy, and drive adaptation. But chronic, uncontrolled stress is a different beast. It keeps cortisol elevated around the clock, promotes fat storage around the abdomen, suppresses thyroid function, and drives cravings for high-sugar, high-fat foods. And here's the kicker. The body doesn't differentiate much between sources of stress. Whether it's an argument, financial worry, poor sleep, or overtraining, the internal hormonal response is similar. One of the simplest but most effective strategies you can deploy is intentional downshifting of your nervous system throughout the day. This can be as quick as a 1-minute physiological sigh, a double inhale through the nose followed by a slow exhale through the mouth. Practices like these stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest mode, allowing you to reset cortisol, maintain hormonal balance, and prevent fat storing processes from dominating your biology. Movement plays a role here too. Low intensity, long duration activities, things like walking, hiking, even slow swimming, are powerful tools for fat loss, not just because they burn calories, but because they lower systemic stress. High intensity workouts are fantastic when dosed correctly, but sprinkling in daily lower intensity movement supports hormonal homeostasis, enhances recovery, and keeps you emotionally and physically balanced. Then there's the role of eating patterns and meal timing. We've been conditioned to think that eating constantly, snacking all day, grazing, keeps metabolism high. But what actually keeps metabolism high is efficient cellular energy management, not constant food intake. Strategic meal timing, such as compressing your eating window to 8-10 hours, allows your body to spend meaningful time in a fasted state. And this state, insulin levels drop and your body shifts from glucose burning to fat burning. It's a natural process called metabolic switching. Fasting isn't about starving yourself. It's about respecting the body's evolutionary design. We're wired for periods of eating and periods of not eating. Long, uninterrupted fasts every day aren't necessary for everyone, but even small shifts like delaying your first meal for a few hours after waking or finishing your last meal at least 3 hours before bed can dramatically improve insulin sensitivity, lower inflammation, and enhance fat oxidation. Now, hydration seems almost too basic to even mention, but it's another critical player in hormonal regulation. Mild dehydration spikes cortisol, increases feelings of fatigue, and can even mimic hunger signals. Drinking enough water, especially early in the day, supports cellular function, maintains blood volume for optimal cardiovascular performance, and helps regulate appetite and digestion. It's also important to understand how nutrition choices impact hormones directly. Highly processed foods, especially those high in refined sugars, seed oils, and chemical additives, create inflammatory environments in the body that dysregulate hormonal signals. Inflammation blunts insulin sensitivity, drives leptin resistance, and promotes fat storage. Choosing whole, minimally processed foods isn't just about getting clean calories. It's about creating a hormonal landscape that promotes fat loss at the molecular level. Beyond physical actions, there's a psychological aspect to hormone optimization that we have to acknowledge. Positive emotional states, gratitude, social connection, a sense of purpose, upregulate beneficial hormones like oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin. These hormones are not just feel-good chemicals. They modulate appetite, enhance willpower, and even impact metabolic rate. Social isolation, on the other hand, depresses these systems and promotes stress, fat storage. So staying connected, nurturing meaningful relationships, and cultivating a mindset of growth and positivity aren't just nice to haves. They're biochemical levers you can pull to accelerate fat loss. Sleep, as we discussed earlier, wraps this all together. Sleep debt doesn't just affect cortisol and hunger hormones, it also decreases testosterone and growth hormone levels, both of which are critical for maintaining muscle mass while losing fat. Getting enough high-quality sleep is a non-negotiable part of managing your internal biochemistry. It's the ultimate recovery tool, and it pays dividends not just in body composition, but also in cognitive performance, mood regulation, and long-term health. Everything connects. Light, movement, stress, meal timing, hydration, emotional well-being, sleep. Each of these factors interacts dynamically to create the hormonal environment your body lives in. You cannot separate them. You cannot outwork a broken internal system with more cardio or stricter dieting. You have to work smarter, not harder. Small changes compounded over time create massive shifts. Wake up and get sunlight. Move your body daily, even lightly. Eat in a way that respects your body's need for real nutrition, not hyper-palatable junk. Allow periods of fasting and real rest. Hydrate first before you reach for more food. Manage your stress deliberately, not reactively. Protect your sleep like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. Fast fat loss is not the result of extreme deprivation. It's the result of extreme alignment. Align your behaviors with the way your body actually works, and fat loss stops being a daily struggle. It becomes inevitable, automatic, just a natural consequence of living in a way that honors your biology instead of fighting it. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be aware. And you need to be willing to stack small wins day after day, knowing that momentum will carry you faster and farther than force ever will. Unlocking the secret of fast fat loss is not about finding a shortcut outside of you. It's about unlocking the massive, untapped potential that's already inside you.